I'm Kavita Shanae, and this is our 7 most fascinating people of South Florida. Who exactly is David Einhorn, a.k.a. Poppy from Poppy Steak? Well, one publicist said off the record, I think he did real estate in New York. Now, his past may be a mystery to some, but what is clear is the man knows how to make steak.
Oh yeah,
And entertain those enjoying it. Poppy is part of the inner circle of another David, Grutman, who put the Poppy Steak on his menu at Komodo, which since day one has been one of the best sellers at the Swanky Eatery. Now, Grutman and Einhorn then gave the popular dish its own stage with the opening of Poppy Steak in Miami Beach, part of Grutman's ever-expanding group hospitality empire. Now, that was September 2019, and the meteoric rise was swift, attracting a parade of celebrities, including Michael Bay, Drake, French Montana, J-Lo, Trevor Noah, and DJ Khaled. But 6 months after opening, entered a global pandemic and shockwaves across the restaurant industry. So let's hear from the man behind the big beef and how he's navigating business amidst COVID-19. So are you the guy that throws the apron on, or are you the guy that makes sure when people walk in the door they're taken care of?
I'm everything. From the second somebody makes a reservation at Poppy Steak till the second they walk out their door and into their car, you have to make sure that their experience is perfection.
You grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
Grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
What was it like growing up in a conservative Jewish household?
It was actually a little more than conservative. It was actually Orthodox Jewish household. I took a lot out from that rich tradition that we have in the Jewish Orthodox world and brought that with me today into the restaurant.
Well, I heard that you have a very big family. How many brothers and sisters?
We're 10 brothers and sisters, blessed, thank God, and I'm the youngest. So I got a lot from everybody.
Well, what brought you to stay in Miami?
I always loved Miami because it's a 2-hour flight from New York. And whenever the weather got bad in New York, we all know that, the winters, it starts snowing, it gets all snow everywhere and everything. I was on the flight out. They're like, oh, there's a storm coming. I'm like, I'm out. So I've been spending a lot of winters there since I was about 15. So I always loved Miami. It was always like my second home. And I'm happy that I have this opportunity to be a part of the community now.
Well, you're not just a charming face and personality. You are a mean griller. You have your own secret sauce. Where do you get your kitchen DNA from? My
mother was always very warming, and being from a big family, everybody has their friends, but the door is always open. So they're bringing their friends over, and my brother's friends, my sister's friends, and everybody's always together. My mom's always in the kitchen cooking and bringing out fresh food and doing this and doing that. And so you kind of have that with you. So growing up, I was always the host between all my friends. I was always the one grilling and doing the dinners and hosting dinners and inviting people over. So I love that. That's what gives me pure happiness.
And the name Poppy?
That's actually interesting. I have a friend, his name is Alec Monopoly. He's an artist, a very famous artist. And again, because I started with all the hosting and all the dinners, they were like, oh, Poppy, Poppy. And everybody was just calling me Poppy. And then while I was grilling these steaks, so it started like Poppy Steak.
So you are partners with David Grutman, Groot Hospitality. Take us through how you met. Take us through that David relationship partnership that you have with him.
Flying down to Miami for all those years, going to the hottest clubs and the hottest scenes. Obviously, you run by David Grutman. And I became friends with his team, the people that work around him, and we became very friendly. They started traveling to New York as well, staying by me. I was hosting them in New York. And then when I was coming here, we started hanging out. And so we got to Dave, and then the steak came up because he started seeing it on my social media, the Poppy Steak. And I remember it was Art Basel one year, and he had everybody over at his house. Like every top celebrity you could think of was at his house. And Dave was like, why don't you, this is your time to shine. Let's get the Poppy Steaks up. Let's go. So I started grilling the steaks. I got the kosher steaks over with the sauce and everything, and they went crazy. They were blown away by it. So Dave, being the marketing genius that he is, he's like, we just opened up Komodo, let's throw it up on the menu and see how it hits. And it became the #1 selling item on that menu.
Take me to the conversation that you had with David going from a menu item to its own restaurant?
So that's an interesting story. We were on the way to a Tao grand opening. We were on the jet. I was with Noah Tepperberg, who is the owner of Tao Group, and we were with Dave. And we were talking about the success of the steak at Komodo and what a great success it is, and how everybody around the world and social media is talking about it. And so Dave goes, he's like, you know, so interesting that somebody offered me a space on South of 5th, a beautiful space, ready to go. And what do you think we should do there? And Noah goes, turns around, and we all were like, Poppy steak.
Would you consider it a kind of Jewish-style steakhouse? Because you do have a lot of kosher menu items.
I remember thinking that it would be amazing to be able to offer kosher items on the menu. We offer that in a beautiful vibe environment where people can really enjoy, and you've seen who comes here and all the celebrities and everybody's dressed beautifully. Like, we don't even have to enforce a dress code here because everybody knows we're going to Poppy Steak, we're going to look beautiful. We're going to dress up to the nines and makeup, and men are wearing, you know, beautiful suits and everything. To come here and be able to have all that and have a kosher steak or a schnitzel or something that you can really eat and enjoy, not just a salad, that was my dream, and that's what I brought with me.
There's a saying, treat an ordinary person like a king and treat a king like an ordinary person. What's your philosophy on the way you treat the wave of celebrities that come through your door?
Everybody's a king when they walk in over here. Kings and queens, that's all we have.
Safe to say the restaurant industry was hit the hardest by the pandemic. How did you navigate this nightmare?
It was a nightmare, but thank God that the second they would allow us to open up back again, that place would just pack up, which is amazing. It's crazy to me. Like, they told us to shut down. We had to shut these doors. It broke my heart, shutting these doors. I never thought I would ever see it. But the second they said, okay, we're allowed to open, we opened the doors, the place packed right back up. I mean, we had to do 3 grand openings in 1 year. Who has to do 3 grand openings? But we did it.
You guys were closed for a few months during lockdown. What did you do? Were you active in the business, and what were you doing when you weren't working?
So actually, we wanted to keep a lot of the staff on and to be able to still pay them during the pandemic. And so what we did was we decided to keep going with like food tastings, and actually we did a little bit of a takeout menu, but we did a lot of charity where we would go to like homes in different locations and drop off boxes of food.
Advice for other restaurants and chefs and wait staff that are struggling right now?
Just keep going. Just wait it out. I think we're going to get through this very soon. I'm hoping, I'm praying. My prayers are with everybody that went through this hard time. We're all in it together, and just be tough. Just stay strong. It's gonna end soon, and everything's gonna be back to normal.
Coming up, an inspirational woman whose fingerprints are all over South Florida's skyline, and we'll hear from a South Floridian whose life-threatening battle with COVID-19 went viral. Kids, what do you want for lunch?
Pizza! Tacos! Pizza!
What about Subway? It's a good call and everyone loves it.
We raised our kids on it.
So it stopped the bickering?
JJ's copying me. Grow up.
Mom!
Knock it off!
Try the new Subway buffalo chicken or barbecue chicken.
My name's Kavita.